Guys, so you know that at the beginning we meant to not have the volume up because we're just kind of setting up and stuff, but welcome back to Dress Your Face Live. I don't know why it feels like I've not seen you guys in forever. Like, it just feels that way. So I'm really excited because after a while I'm bringing back a hair class by popular demand, and the cool thing about this class is you don't have to be a hairstylist to learn all of these tricks, because I'm gonna make it really easy for you. And a lot of us out there, including me, like, look at how little my pony is, like that's how thin it is. All of us have either clients or ourselves that we have to deal with thin hair, and if we have thick hair for now, it's not going to stay on your head forever. So these are some of the tricks that will help you make you look like you have thicker hair, or for your clients to have thicker hair without having to use extensions. Because a lot of times, like, I'll have clients that'll come over and I have to do their hair or make them, you know, ready for whatever it is, but a lot of times they won't bring extensions with them, or I've told them to bring extensions and they didn't, or maybe they just forgot, or whatever it is. So I want to show you a way to make hair look a gazillion times thicker without the use of extensions. And I want to show you guys how to tease and how to curl to make it last really long and to make it really bouncy and amazing. And I think these techniques are really going to help you guys maintain that kind of quality in your hair and in your client's hair. But like I said, even if you're not hairdressers, you can totally use these tips for yourself. Of course, all these little tricks that I'm going to do, you don't have to use all of them. These are all just different ways to make the hair look thicker and more bouncy and all that good stuff. So of course I'm going to be using my Bombay Hair Tamana styling set. I've been posting videos and photos like crazy using the set, and I've been so happy with your guys' responses for my Tamana hairstyling set from BombayHair.com. It's an entire set that comes with a 3-piece detachable wand. Like, I don't really include anything that you wouldn't use, so it's like things that you would actually use. So there is the 3 main sizes. There's a tiny one, which is a 3/4 inch, and that is meant for like really tight curls or like a lot of texture. And then there's the 1 inch, which I'm going to be using today. It's the 1 inch wand. And then there's a 1 1/4 inch, which is for bigger waves. So those 3 sizes come in the set, and it also comes with my favorite hair straightener. It also comes with clips, gloves, heat-resistant mats, and a warranty to top it all off. Yay! So yeah, I highly encourage you guys to try that set if you haven't already. I mean, it's really no BS. It's everything that you would actually use. It's none of that other stuff that you would never use, like other random sizes that basically just make the hair look exactly the same as a curling one, but it's just fancy. No, this is quality stuff and no BS, like I said, and it's very practical and very affordable. So you don't have to have, you know, you don't have to invest so much in a set. It's a really amazing price. So definitely check that out. And you could use my code Tamana, T-A-M-A-N-N-A, on BombayHair.com to get your Tamana styling set for an additional discount. Hello, like, why not? So I'm going to introduce to you my amazing model. And the cool thing about this today is she's going to help me with the Q&A. So I'm going to bring her out right now so you guys can meet her. Her name is Ruby. I've tagged her in my latest post before this. So the one here, I'll show you this one right here. I've tagged her here, so definitely show her some love. And in my latest post here, which is this 4-screen one, I want you guys to ask your questions in that post so that her and I can help you guys with your answers. So without further ado, please welcome Miss Ruby. Yay!
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I'm very excited to have her. She's my friend. We've actually known each other before we moved here to LA, and then she ended up moving here like a year before I did. 2 years,
like a year,
something like that.
Yeah.
And she's killing it.
Aww.
We did some magazine covers together, had a lot of fun in those shoots, and now she is my hair model. So I want you guys to see, like, she has a lot of strands of hair, but her hair is very fine. Like, there you go. Now you can see. Her hair is fine. It just looks fluffy because she has a lot of like number of hairs, but they are very fine. And I want to show you guys how to go from very fine hair to a very fluffy, thick, high quality hairdo. So I'm going to show you all that in just a second. what we're gonna do today for the live stream, you know how I always do the Q&A like at the end? This time, because a lot of the steps are gonna be redundant, I'm going to be teaching a little bit at the beginning, and then while I'm doing like the same steps over and over to finish her whole head, she's gonna take my phone and ask some of those questions that you guys have. So, like I said, on that latest post, please go ahead and
grab mine.
oh yeah, here you go. Maybe you can ask on yours.
Yeah.
Mine will probably lock up on you. So on this post here, guys, ask your questions so we can get all those answers for you. So she's gonna ask away. And then while her hair is setting, I'm going to put them all up in curls. So we're going to take a 10-minute break for her to have her hair set. And then I'll sit in the hot seat and I'll answer some more questions during that time. And then I'll bring her back out so we can finish the hairdo. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this is the wand that I was talking to you guys about. It's pretty amazing.
It is amazing.
I love it. So we're going to use this to curl all her hair. We're also going to pin up every single piece, which I mean, normally I don't do in the real world. I'm always like in a time crunch, but for those of you who really want that bouncy hair and you want it full of volume for a longer period of time and that's gonna last like forever, this is kind of the way to go to cool it down like this. So I'm gonna use these little clippies to clip all her hair in. And then as far as teasing, I'm going to be using my Layla Milani teasing comb. I also love my Layla Milani Miracle brush. I'm gonna use this as well. And the Tresemme hairspray, which I use on everybody for every reason, whether it's a loose do or if it's a crazy Bollywood updo. This stuff is amazing because it doesn't flake and it doesn't get sticky. It's really awesome, and it's only a few bucks. And another thing I want to talk to you guys about products. In case you don't want to be teasing your hair like crazy, there's a couple of products out there that help with that. The Layla Milani Big Hair Don't Care Powder. You guys know that I've been talking about this in other hair classes as well. This is a powder that you sprinkle very little bits into your hair, like in the scalp area. Rub it with your fingers and it kind of fluffs up your hair. It gives you that dirty feel, you know, like when your hair is too clean, it's just too silky, it's going to be very flat. But when your hair has some buildup in it, it actually, I know it sounds gross, but whatever. Girls know. When it has a little buildup, you get a little bit more body in your hair, and this is what, what it does. And then I also like to take the Make Me High 4-in-1 Instant Height from Super Teased Hair. This is a hairspray that you spray into your roots, kind of from far, not too close, because it will get really hard and sticky. So use it like about 8 to 10 inches away from the head. Spray it at the root, and that will help with your teasing process. If teasing is really hard for you, you can spray a little bit of this and then tease, and it's just, oh my god, it's really awesome. So yes, those are the products, but we're pretty much just going to use hairspray. So let's get started. I'm going to move her over here, and we're gonna, I'm wondering if, you know what? Let me have you get up real quick. I'm gonna move this. There we go. Go ahead and sit down. There we go. Yay. Hi. So we're gonna go ahead and section her hair. I'm just gonna be doing some at the nape first. So what we'll do is take a small section on the nape of her head. And I'm gonna get all this hair out of the way. I'm gonna twist it up, and I have my Tamana alligator clippies, so that will hold that away. And now I'm gonna go ahead and start curling. The nape of the hair doesn't have a lot of hair. Like the nape of the head, this hair is very thin, so that's why it's a pretty big section, but the rest of the sections are gonna be a lot thinner, so just keep that in mind. What I'll go ahead and do is take some thinner pieces. I'll show you. And I'm going to go ahead and start curling. So I put this and wrap it around. And we're going to leave this wand on for several seconds so I can see that steam come up. I really want to make sure that the hair shaft has that heat actually penetrating all the way through. And then we're not going to even spray it right away. What we're going to do is we're going to drop it into our hand, cool it a little bit, and immediately use our little clippy and clip that up. Bam. And we're going to do that everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and use another clip just to make sure the bottom doesn't fall out. So now we're going to work on the next section. Do the same exact thing. I'm going to wrap it around. Notice how I'm kind of twisting as I'm wrapping. That's how you're going to create more of that Hollywood wave, that bounce in the hair. I'm not ribboning, so I'll demonstrate that on the next section so you guys can see what I mean between ribboning and twisting. Twisting basically gives you more bounce in the hair. That's the thing. So we're going to just let that fall right in our hands. And we're going to clip it as so. Now that's done, we're going to move over. So now I'm going to show you the difference between the ribboning and the twisting. So when I'm twisting, I'm holding the hair and I'm just kind of, you see that twisting as I'm going around. Ribboning is when you're holding the hair very flat like this and it's flat again. See how I'm literally treating it like a ribbon? That's going to give you more of a traditional curl, like that. But and this opens really quickly. So what you want to do is actually encourage that twist to happen, like that. And that way, the twist actually helps hold the hair up like a spring. So it bounces so much better than a traditional spiral curl, which is like the ribboning effect. So we're just going to go ahead and do all the hair like this. Again, holding it down for a few seconds and then letting it fall into your hand, grabbing a clippy, and clipping it right back up. Final section of the nape. Same thing. Twisting as I'm wrapping. Hold it down for several seconds. And then you're going to let it fall right into your hand. Don't let it open. And you're going to clip it right into place. Bam. Okay? So now this bottom section is done and we're going to do the same thing all the way up. Now keep in mind, like I said originally, let me move this down a little bit. Like I said originally, the nape has very thin hair, so we don't have to go so thin with our sections because we need more hair. Now, from here on out, we're only going to take about 1 inch sections. So the next section is going to be from ear to ear. I use my nails for this, but if you don't have pointy nails like mine, then you can use the end of a rat tail comb. All my private hair students, when they come in, they're like, okay, the first thing we learn is we need to get pointy nails. Lesson number 1. Okay. And now I'm going to get all this hair out of the way. And now we have all this to work with, so we're going to do the same exact thing. Taking a good section here. Wrapping, twisting, going all the way to the root. Be careful. Maybe I'll have you guys see a little better like that. Let it fall right into your hand. And clip it right up. And that's it. Look how cute. So we're going to just keep doing this over and over and over. So now, while I do this, just keep watching, you know, pay attention and all that good stuff. But I want you guys to go ahead and ask your questions on that post, and Ruby will go on my post to check out what those questions are so I can start answering them. Go for it. Hair-related questions first, and then once we run out of hair-related questions, we'll answer some makeup questions.
Shall we begin?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
How do you make the teasing to the front where the hair is raised stay for a long period of time?
So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that for you. I'm assuming you're talking about the bang section in the front. It does involve a lot of teasing and a lot of hairspray. So I will definitely show you that in this class.
How long does this last?
The whole hairstyle?
I think that's a thing.
Probably. Until they wash it.
Yeah, days.
Days. Yeah. Yeah, this stuff works. Yep.
Let's see. Do you have any recommendations for making hair thicker in general?
Well, there are a lot of remedies for thinning hair. One of the ones that most blogs talk about the most is amla oil. It's an Indian hair oil that you'd actually beat into the head traditionally. You'd massage it right into the scalp and you beat it so that the blood flow kind of just gives it that, the vigorous massaging is what kind of lets the nutrients of that hair oil really kind of work with the blood flow and the heat of the head to feed your hair follicles. So that's one of the best ways. Of course, like there's also like more like clinically, used products like there's, what's that one that everyone talks about? It's God, what is that called? It's a
like
shampoo and a conditioner and Ovation. Ovation cell therapy is actually an interesting thing. It was originally used for cancer patients to regrow their hair a little bit thicker, and they started selling it to the mass market. So Ovation cell therapy is a product that's supposedly meant to thicken the hair. And I used it for a while, and I felt like my hair had more of a healthy bounce. So I liked it. And there's also minoxidil. I forgot the name of it. It's like an oil that is used and then vigorously massaged into the scalp as well. I think it's called minoxidil. So check that out. And then of course there are like other things like nioxin, which is also a whole line of hair products in salons. They usually have it, and that usually helps with kind of bringing back dead follicles. But there's not a whole lot of products out there that are really tested to the point where, oh my God, this is a miracle product. There's no miracle product. Like some things work over a period of time and religious use, and then some things just may not work at all. So it really depends, of course, on your own chemistry of your hair. But you want to do those things, and then also, of course, just having a good blowout. I know heat is like one of the worst things you can do for your hair. It is damaging, but for thin hair to look thicker, I have really thin hair, and I hate blow drying my hair, but once in a while I'll go to a friend and she'll give me like a really fabulous blowout. And what you want to do is use a curl, like a round brush, and blow dry your hair, and it kind of gives you a nice lift at the root. So those are just some other tips to make your hair look a little thicker.
What kind of clips are you using to hold the curls?
They're little tiny metal double prong clips. You can find these at Sally's Beauty Supply by the box. We're going to take our next section of hair now.
Recommendations for good shampoos and conditioners?
Okay, I love Tresemme shampoos and conditioners. It smells really good, and I like the 24-hour body one, where it kind of just, I don't know, gives you a good bounce. And then I also like the LCK hair care line. My friend Laura created that hair line. And I really like their Maryland shampoo and conditioner. It's a purple dye in there, which helps for blondies like myself stay nice and blonde rather than brassy. So those are my current favorites.
Can you repeat the code for Bombay hair?
Yes. If you want a discount on the Tamana styling set, just type in my name, TAMANNA, and you will get an additional 10% off of your purchase on top of the discounted pricing that the bundle is already.
What do you recommend for humidity to make this look last?
The hairspray, the Tresemme hairspray is actually anti-humidity. It's pretty awesome. I did this hairstyle on a bride in Cancun, and it was so nasty humid there. It was horrible. But I used this hairspray as my finishing product, and it actually says that it's humidity resistant. So I really liked the fact that it did work. I did use it there and it worked. And also, of course, all these ways of keeping the hair from falling out, and then using tourmaline. This is a tourmaline wand. I really love tourmaline. It's my favorite material. That's why I made these wands with tourmaline. And this also does lock the curl really nicely and keep that shine infused into the hair so that it doesn't get all like crazy. So those few things will help.
Any recommendations for flyaways?
Yes. I mean, hairspray is all I really use for flyaways, honestly. But another thing you could do is, like, after you hairspray it, if you still have little flyaways, you could actually use the wand like this. Like, let's say you have flyaways and I sprayed the hair. I just go over the flyaways with the wand and it sticks it down. It melts the hairspray so that it just sticks it right down and the flyaways are gone.
What do you think of coconut oil for hair treatment?
I mean, all those hair oils, because they have nutrients in them, it will over time help. But the number one hair oil is the amla oil, the Indian amla oil. You can find that at an Indian grocery store.
Sid86 makeup artist says you're amazing.
Thank you.
Let me see what else. How do you prevent the clips from making dents in the curls and hair?
If you're going to be clipping over the hair, like when you're just doing this way, like clipping in a twisted curl, it won't do that as long as you're clipping the base of the hair and not the top of the hair. But if you are clipping the top of the hair, like the surface of the hair, you want to use clip pads, which are or like little pieces of cardboard or paper, like thick stock paper, such as like the business card paper. You use that. Let me see if does anyone have a business card in this room? I'll just use this. Okay, so let's say I want to clip the very surface of the hair like this, right? And if you look at it, it's going to create a dent right here. So the way to prevent that is you could use like a tissue like this, just fold it over and clip over the tissue. Clip the hair over the tissue so that the tissue is what's holding the hair rather than the prongs, and that way you won't get any dips. So try the tissue trick. But if you're just clipping like these kind of pin curls that I'm doing, you have to just clip the base of the curl and not don't clip over the, let me have your chin up real quick, sorry, just so they can see. I'm not clipping over the top of this, I'm clipping inside. So that's how you want to do it. Okay.
How long should this look take plus makeup?
If you're gonna do this whole thing plus makeup, I would give it like 2 hours total. I like to spend an hour on hair and an hour on makeup when I'm working on my clients. But if you're doing it on yourself, I try to go like really fast. I don't spend time on myself.
How do you travel with your hair products, especially the Tamana styling set, without damaging the tools?
Oh, the tools won't get damaged, believe me. These tools are like pretty heavy duty. You can just throw them in whatever and it'll be fine. The Tamana styling set's like pretty cool. Or you could just keep the box and pack it with you in a suitcase, because the box will have like every compartment for every item. But honestly, I just throw it in a bag and take it with me on vacation and it never gets damaged.
Do you need to use heat protectant spray?
No, you know what? To be honest with you, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this about me by now, especially my longtime DYFL members. I'm not into fads. I'm not into products. I'm not into like gimmicky stuff. And I feel like one of the biggest gimmicks of hair is heat resistant sprays. Nothing is going to protect your hair from heat. Heat is heat. 450 degrees is heat. What's going to protect you is the material that you're using. So if you're going to use a traditional like metal curling iron, it's gonna burn your hair. But the tourmaline kind of protects your hair. It won't burn it. It just kind of keeps it really, really even distribution of heat. So that's going to be a lot more healthier for you. But honestly, heat resistant sprays, I just feel like there's just no way in hell. Like I used it for a while. I still got split ends. It did not help at all. And in fact, it sizzled, because when you spray it, you're adding moisture to your hair and then you add heat and then it sizzles. So I thought that my hair was frying even more. Yeah.
Any good hair shine products to use?
If your hair is very dull, even after using these tools, actually this tool, another thing that I like about the tourmaline is it has negative ion technology, which means that it closes the hair cuticle. It closes the cuticle of the hair so that it's super, super shiny. It looks like glass. It's so shiny. You'll see Ruby's hair after, like, it will look so shiny. So the tools alone, using the right tools, is going to make your hair shiny. But as far as a spray to add shine, if it's really dull, Kenra has a shine spray. So Kenra brand has a really cool shine spray, but you just want to use a very thin mist because it will look oily if you put too much on.
What can you use so your hair won't fall out as much?
I mean, here's the thing, guys. Naturally, normally, the average person loses 40 to 100 strands of hair per day. So if you feel like you're losing more than 100 per day, then yes, it's thinning, most likely, to a degree. The biggest thing to prevent fallout is trying to have less stress in your daily routine of life. So a lot of people do yoga and meditation and things like that just to kind of calm their, the stress of their life, taking walks, having a pet, all these lifestyle things will help with hair loss. It will also help with your own health, since, as we know, stress is the biggest trigger of a lot of issues. But as far as like a treatment, like I said in the beginning of the class, one of the questions was, how do you help with thinning hair? Same exact thing. Using oils, using less heat if possible, using topical treatments and products that are meant for thinning hair, such as Nioxin and Ovation. Those are all things that are meant to help, but they're not 100%. So you definitely want to make sure that you're having your vitamins. There's a vitamin called Hair, Skin, and Nails at GNC, the vitamin world. So you can try that. Even prenatal vitamins, even if you're not trying to have a baby, prenatal vitamins really help for all that stuff as well. So it's from within. A lot of it is from within.
Mm-hmm. Any suggestions for oily flat hair? I feel like I always have to wash my hair because it gets oily quick, and dry shampoo doesn't seem to work. Love you.
Oh, I love you too.
From AJ Boo.
AJ Boo. One of the dry shampoos that I really like, and I was going to say dry shampoo, but then you said that you haven't had good response from dry shampoo. But try the Renee Fertier dry shampoo. It's in a green spray bottle. It's at Planet Beauty. Try that. That is my all-time favorite dry shampoo. I've tried many others and I never loved them. But the Renee Fertier is my favorite, so I would really try that. And also, if none of those work, you could just try translucent powder like baby powder with a big brush and dust that baby powder on the areas of your scalp that are really oily, and it will absorb it. And then just shake the rest of the product out so it doesn't look white on your hair.
Can you recommend some tricks on how to take care of frizzy hair on a daily basis?
I mean, for frizz, just using the right tools to close the cuticle of the hair so it doesn't rub up and get fluffy. So keep with tourmaline or ceramic. I like tourmaline way more than ceramic. I feel like ceramic is very 1998. So tourmaline hair tools like this. There's also ionic hair dryers that you can use to help with that too. So those are just some of the things. There's also like frizzies. There's also like shampoos that are more moisturizing and heavy that will weigh the hair down a little bit more so it doesn't fluff up and get too frizzy either. So it's a combination of a lot of things. But my favorite thing is my flat iron in the set. It'll just, oh my God. I've used it on nappy hair and it just closes the cuticle so nicely and it becomes this like perfect smooth hair. That's all.
That's all. If your client walks in with very dirty hair, I mean super greasy, where you can feel what do you do with their hair? Because it happened to her once.
Oh, damn.
Don't commit. Don't commit.
Don't do it.
Refuse service. No, I'm just kidding. I've not really refused service to anybody. I've worked with that, and I just always have dry shampoo with me. So just on emergency situations, I'll go ahead and do the dry shampoo. It actually does work. It works really, really well. But the Renee Fertier one, the green spray bottle, I just get it on Amazon, Renee Fertier, because it's hard for me to go to a store. So I just order in bulk on Amazon, just so I never run out of it. They have the travel size, and they have the full size, so I buy both so that I can travel with it, because I hate washing my hair, so I'd rather just use dry shampoo in between washes when I'm on vacation, because it literally takes me forever to dry and like look nice after. I like my hair a little dirty, so it like fluffs up better. So I like the dry shampoo for myself as well, but definitely use it for your clients if that's the case. And also, I mean, it is kind of our responsibility to tell our clients how we want them to come in. So I usually do send a courtesy text the day before my clients come if they're doing hair, and I tell them, go ahead and come with clean, dry hair, non-frizzy. That way I get through that appointment in a breeze, and they know exactly what they need to do.
Will this technique work on clients with shorter, thin hair like a bob?
Absolutely. And what you could do is use a straightening iron to do these curls and then clip it in place. Or you could actually use rollers, like a smaller roller, to go ahead and while the hair is wet, you can roll the hair, pin it, put them under the dryer for 15 minutes or so until it's super dry, and then it'll bounce back. But for really short hair, I think the fastest way to go is a good blowout. If you're good at blow drying hair, then go for it. But I don't do blow dry services, to be honest with you. I do not offer those services to my clients. So I hate blow drying. I don't know. It's just a preference. I just choose not to do it. So I tell my clients, even if they have really short hair, to come with totally dried hair. And what I do is I'll take little sections and use my straightening iron, my Tamana straightener, and smooth it, over direct it so it lifts up at the root, and then I curve it down. And then I do that all the way around, and then I let it cool, and then I tease the root, spray, and then smooth over it, and it becomes this big bouncy bob. It's really gorgeous. I do that on usually Mother of the Brides or anyone that has short hair.
What is your favorite hairspray brand for in-salon use and retail?
I stick with Tresemme. I don't deal with those expensive stuff. I've tried every freaking brand and I'm never happy with it. And you guys know, like, you've seen a lot of the hairstyles on my page, those big old crazy updos for my brides and how heavy their veils are, the dupattas, especially the Indian brides. I have to use something strong. And then even my like down dews, I don't want it opening up, and I don't want it like dulling out at the end of the night. So I only use the Trust Me number 5, the strongest hold one, and I just use less for my down dews and more for my up dews. Simple. But if you're asking like for salon use, if you have a salon and you want to sell a product, I'm sorry, I'm not the right person to ask for that. I'm so sorry. I don't really again, I'm not a gimmicky person. I'm not all about like the salon brands and things like that. Oh, I've heard good things about Orbe. I've never tried it though. I want to. If there's an Orbe representative out there, can you look it up, please? So I can change my mind about how I feel about salon products.
How do you make the curls stay with people who have super straight hair? I can't even talk.
Yeah. For people with super straight hair, it's the same exact thing that what you're seeing right now is the best way to get resistant hair to actually bend. So if even after using, like this wand works on everyone, literally like even my clients that come in and they're like, my hair never holds curl, can I do a down do? I'm scared. I'll do it for them and it will last them like up until the point that they wash their hair. It'll last days. So I have full faith in my product, the wand. But if it's still, kind of limp for you, then try it this way. Wand it, pin it up, wait for all the hair to cool down, and then take it out and then do what I'm doing in the second half of this class. Follow my steps religiously and it will last. You will not have a problem.
I think I've got like most of them for now.
Okay.
Let me see. Have you tried the Sebastian Shaper Spray?
I have actually, and it was okay. I didn't have any like major complaints about it, but I still like the Trust Me number 5 better because it's stronger and it never flakes. You can spray over an already sprayed piece and it won't flake. You can brush it out and it won't flake.
Any tips for those trying to get volume but are short on time?
You can do all of these steps except for the pinning process. So what you'll do is you'll do these curls. I'll do it on this piece for you so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's say I didn't have time to do all the pinning. I took the wand out. I'm holding this piece of curl. I'm blowing on it in my hand so it can cool down. And I let it go. And see how bouncy it is? It's not opening. So cooling it like this, every piece that you do, cool it off and then let it go. And that's going to keep it volumized, of course, with a little teasing at the root as well. It's going to keep your hair volumized without having to spend all this time clipping it up and then having to take it down later. But I'm going to do it this way for today's class.
Can you use bobby pins to do the same thing with the curls?
Yes, you can absolutely use bobby pins to clip them up. The only thing is just make sure you find every bobby pin when you're taking it down, But yeah, you can absolutely use bobby pins, no big deal. So you see how her hair is all curled up. Now we're gonna work on the top piece. So I'm gonna bring her down a bit. And I want you guys to see how I'm doing the top. I'm gonna do one more U-shaped section all the way around. Let me make sure I have enough hair. I want at least an inch thick of hair to work with. Okay, so I'm going to pin this up. And I want you guys to see chin up a little bit so they can see the top. Yeah. So you can see that it's just a U shape. Starts here, goes all the way around to the other side, very even. And we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing here, but what I'm gonna start doing though is I'm gonna over direct the hair. So like over here, you'll see that I want more of a lift at the roots so that it's volumized at the root. So I'm gonna stick the hair straight up, put that wand under, and wrap so that the very root of the hair is over directed, literally standing up. See how the root of her hair is like literally standing up? So when you do it this way, you have more root action, more of that lift. Mm-hmm. See how the root is lifted? We're gonna do that from here on out on every single section, working our way back up to the top. So that's the only difference between the bottom sections and this top section. The root gotta go. I'm doing this actually everywhere, but the very nape of the neck I wasn't able to do it obviously because it's the nape, but as you go higher you really want to focus on that flip up. Okay. Any more questions?
Do you ever curl the hair towards or away from the face?
I usually just curl down rather than sideways. But I usually would ask, like, it depends on my client too. Like, if she wants a Hollywood wave, I like to curl it towards the face. And then if she wants like that loose, like Victoria's Secret wave, I'll curl it away from the face.
When someone has thick full hair, how can you still achieve this look? Don't want it to be double as big.
Then in that case, don't over direct the curls like I did. Like, you know how I'm like sticking it all the way up and curling it down? You can do the opposite way, which is taking the piece and, like, let's say here's the wand, I'm going down and curling upward like that. That way the root stays flat and the rest of the hair has a little bit of volume so it doesn't create too much lift. But I want lift, so I'm going up and over. And then you don't have to tease. If you already have really thick hair, you don't have to like tease as much.
How can you secure a Jummer headpiece on thin hair?
Well, so the thing is, when you're working with headpieces, can I get this thing working again? When you're working with headpieces, we need to make sure that there's enough teasing at the base of where you want to clip it so that the bobby pin actually holds into it. So sometimes it'll take several bobby pins all around the Jummer, like it's like the big side piece. If you guys saw the videos that I posted yesterday on my Snapchat, the second bride of the day had a big side piece on her hair with a big Hollywood wave. There was a lot of hairspray at the base of her hair right there and a little bit of teasing, but we had to, like, Francisco had to put a lot of different bobby pins all around that so it would actually stay up. With the middle piece, which is called the tika, you just shove it in and it holds much better if there's a lot of teasing. The heavier the piece, the more teasing needs to be done. You can't do it on flat hair. It will not stay. It will slide right off. Even if you do a bobby pin like this and then you cross another bobby pin over it to hold it in place, it's still going to slip. So you need to make sure there's teasing in your hair.
Is this an easy style to do on yourself? I feel like it's hard for me to do curls on myself.
It is possible. It's just going to take a while because your arms might get tired staying up above your head like this. But it is definitely possible. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Honestly, guys, it does not. Like, I'm aligning it perfectly because I'm doing her hair. If she were doing her own hair, it would not be aligned perfectly, but it would still end up being a fabulous view when she's done. So it might be easier for you to use a roller set to do it. But if you were to use a wand, just do it like this, like I did for that one little demonstration that I did, where I threw it in my hand, let it cool down, and then just drop it instead of pinning it up. So you could skip the pinning portion if you're doing it on yourself, and if you feel like that's too tedious, go ahead and skip this pinning portion, just let it go. For those of you just logging in right now, go ahead and ask your Q&A questions. We're answering them right now. So ask your Q&A questions on my latest post on Instagram so we can go ahead and answer them for you. Once we're done answering all the hair questions, then we're going to go on to the makeup questions.
How many days do you go between washing your hair? Should it be different if you have fine hair?
I mean, the finer the hair, the quicker you have to wash it, because the oil is going to accumulate a little bit faster in between the hairs, and it'll weigh down your hair a lot quicker. So to get that fluffy hair, you usually need to have cleaner hair. For coarse hair or for thicker hair or for those who have just a lot of hair, you can go a lot longer without washing your hair. Like some of my clients in the past have washed it just once a week. They would come in for a curl once a week and it would last the whole week. So, and it's not gross. It's actually very common. A lot of girls focus on washing their hair once a week so that their natural oils of their scalp can actually feed their hair growth, and their hair will grow a lot quicker the less you wash it. Because washing, I mean, shampoos have a lot of detergents in it, and that does account to some amount of hair loss and hair damage. So, and I particularly have very dry skin, like on my face, body, and hair. My scalp is dry, so the more I wash it, the more I flake, and I hate that. So I'm thinking of trying Head and Shoulders. Someone told me that it actually really does work, so I'm going to try that. But anyway, so I can't wash my hair often. It will actually get really, really damaged and dry and bad and flaky. So anywhere from like once a week or twice a week is pretty healthy. Unless your hair is super fine, then you just have to kind of see how your hair reacts to washing it less. Sometimes you may have to train your hair, because it's another psychological thing for your hair. The more you wash it, the faster your oil builds up, because your hair is basically, your scalp is saying to your hair, oh my God, there's no oil, come on, let's produce oil, and then it'll start producing oil. So your body is built to compensate for any shortcomings. So if you're washing your hair like twice a day or every day, then you're stripping your hair of necessary oils that it needs to stay nourished, right? So if you're stripping it, then your scalp is going to be like, oh my God, go into overtime, guys. Let's build up that oil. Let's produce that sebum. And it'll start producing sebum, which is oil, hair oil. And then you have to wash it again and again and again. So you're actually training your hair to need to get washed every day if you wash it every day. If you start training your hair to maybe get washed every other day or every 2 days, your hair will naturally slow down its oil production, because when it once thought that, oh my God, there's no oil left on the hair, let's produce it, now it's going to have oil left on the hair, and it's going to be like, oh, okay, there is oil, we don't have to produce as much. I love how it's like making voices for our hairs, but whatever, that's how it works. So you can actually train your hair to produce less oil by washing it less. Isn't that crazy?
Do you have a preference on a brand of practice hair head?
No, I've actually, that's a really good question, you guys. If any of you out there know a good brand of the hair heads, the mannequins, the hair mannequins, please list it on that post. Answer that question for my student there, because I'm actually very much interested in practicing hairstyles on mannequin heads, like braids and stuff, and doing demonstrations on mannequin heads. So if you guys have a good mannequin head brand that you like to use, something that has a lot of hair and good long hair, like a real human head, because the ones in beauty school are horrible. Oh my God, you can count the number of hairs on your head. It's the worst. So give me a good brand. I'm actually interested in knowing too. So go ahead and answer on that post if you can, my latest post.
Should I use a different curling wand or size for curls for short, fine hair?
For shorter hair, if your hair won't wrap around a 1 inch, then try the 3/4 inch, which is also in the same kit. That's the one I usually use for much shorter hair, or I'll just use the straightening iron that comes in the kit as well, just to create my own curl size. Like the more you over direct that, the tighter the curl. But yeah, for shorter hair, I mean, that's if you want more curl. But if you want like more of a wave, then you can still use a 1 inch as long as your hair can curl around it 1.5 times or more. Okay, for this top section now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it all back. So go ahead and look up all the way. See this? I'm gonna go and take sections like this now. Instead of going the U all the way around, I'm gonna take sections back, curl it back, 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 back. And then the very front, I'm gonna go ahead and ask Ruby what side that she wants to part it. And I mean, we did it both ways. I've done her hair the other way and I've done it this way. This is the natural way her hair, like the direction goes, it goes that way. But for those of you who always part it one way and it's really flat, try parting it the other way like this. And because it's going against the grain, it actually naturally has, look at that volume there all of a sudden. And I didn't tease it. It's just there because her hair is not used to going this way. It's going against the direction of growth. So that's an easy way to create more bang volume. If you don't already have bang volume, is to go against the way that your hair grows. But I'll show you her natural way, which is this way. This is how her hair naturally goes. So I'll show you this way too, because I want you guys to see how much this technique even works for if you don't change your hair part. Because we are putting her hair this way, I'm going to take, go ahead and look up all the way again, sorry. I'm gonna take this bottom piece, go down, and then I'm also gonna do a horizontal piece this way. This way. So now you can see the side of her hair. I'm taking a horizontal piece this way since all this hair is going to move this way, and this very back part is going back, but I'm not taking anything more on this side because the side's done. Okay, go for it.
They want to know about big updos for your next class.
Oh, for really big, like bridal updos, I actually have the hair certification courses that we're gonna reopen after this winter, and it will be in that, because that is a very specialized, like very bridal. And DYFL, I want to make sure that even beginners, all the way up to advanced, can follow through. And plus, like, that would be probably almost a 3-hour class because it does take a really long time to do it live on camera. But I'll try to do it an easier updo, not a big bridal updo most likely, because those are all in the certification, which is going to come out open for enrollment after this winter. But for DYFL, I think I'll do some more. I've already done some updos, but I'll do some more updos that can be used on non-bridal as well.
Does it make a difference if your hair has short layers, or should your hair be one length for this style?
You can have totally like a lot of layers for this. I've done it on a lot of layers before and it worked great. It'll actually bounce up all those layers so it'll look even bigger. If all the hair is one length, it'll actually weigh it down and it won't look as big, but you can totally do it with layers.
What would you do if the front is extremely sparse?
Oh, you know what? For sparse hair in the very front, I use a brow powder from a brow kit, like Anastasia's brow palette. I use those to color in the scalp so it looks fuller. So if you have a lot of scalp showing in your updos or in the front of your hair or whatever, instead of using those hair powders that are meant for hair where you sprinkle it and it just goes everywhere. So instead I use a brow powder kit from Anastasia. I use a small brush and I pack it like I did on myself today. Like I have a bald spot here, I used brow powder right in there to cover up all my bald spots. Like I have a bald spot here too, and I use brow powder to cover that up so my hair looks thicker. There you go. I do it on guys too all the time. My grooms, if they're thinning, you just add a little bit of eyeshadow or brow powder and it just does the trick.
You don't have a chart. Are you the iPhone? I need to plug this in.
Oh, do we have a oh, I got my charger. I rolled it. Alright, so there you go.
Oh, wait, is the iPhone now?
Mm-hmm.
I have to get it. Got it.
Oh, I don't know.
Should I grab it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, ask more questions.
So yeah, go ahead and ask your questions on my latest post on Instagram. We're almost done with all the curling. So once all the curling is done, then she's gonna cool off for 10 minutes because the curls that I'm pinning in have to cool off for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna sit down here and answer some questions myself. We'll talk about some other things like makeup stuff too. And then I'll invite her back so I can show you the open look. See what other questions we have here. And yes, I'm also going to reopen the enrollment for the makeup certification. The hair and the makeup certification are going to be reopened once the whole, we're revamping the whole system. We're going to make it like a full-on, like, almost like a college degree. It's going to be really crazy. So I'm working on that now. It will take some time, though. Oh, someone's saying the celebrity budget mannequin from Amazon is really good. I'll try that. Oh, interesting. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and continue.
Can you show us the twisting slowly?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Okay. So, wand underneath, and I'm slow motion twisting. So, see how I'm going down? Leave your hand like this. And when you do this, and you slowly go to the end, it'll twist. So I'm not actually twisting with my wrist or anything. So watch. Here's this. My hand is going to stay in this position. And it automatically twists. I'll do it a couple times, so just in case anyone missed it. Mm-hmm. Let me just hold this down, let it really get hot, and then open it into my hand and locking that in place. We'll do it one more time so you guys can see slow-mo.
For clients with ombre, it's hard to recommend them a place for extensions? I know the answer.
Oh, what's the answer, Ruby? My hair extension line with Bomb My Hair is coming very soon, guys. It is an ombre hair extension line. There's going to be a smooth ombre, and there's going to be a highlighted ombre, which is like mine, where I have some highlights that come a little closer to my root, and then the rest of it is ombre. So it's like kind of two levels of stuff going on my hair. So I have both of that coming out very soon. I'm just, finishing up the, the color choices. I want all the range to be amazing. So I'm waiting on a few more samples to be sent in of the rest of the colors. And then as soon as I approve it, it's going to go into production, baby.
Not many hairstyles stay in my hair. Do you have any recommendations?
This exact thing. That's the whole point of me teaching you this style today, for long lasting and for thin hair and to make it bouncy and big and amazing.
What do you think about Sally's hair extensions?
They're very thin. I mean, they're fine. I always used to use them myself, but they're very thin. Sally's Beauty Supply has hair extensions. They're pricey and they're not very heavy. So for me, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to spend all this money on hair, it needs to be heavy. It needs to be good quality. So I prefer Bombay hair because it is super heavy from root to tip, super heavy. That's why my hair extension line's with Bombay hair, because they're the ones I've always used. They're the ones I've always recommended to my brides. I love it. I truly, truly am a believer. So I stay loyal. Loyal.
What's a quick hairstyle you can do before going to work in the morning?
A high pony, high bun, like a top knot. But usually for work, I like to have the hair down or in a low ponytail. I love to tease the crown. I have a ponytail video that if you are on my All Access Pass, you'll be able to see it. It's the high ponytail, the volume ponytail class. So try that. I think that's so cute. Like whether it's for a bridal shower or for the office, it's so cute to do.
Can you repeat the current status of hair and makeup online certification?
Yes. So enrollment has closed a long time back. That was for my test students. So just to test the program and to see how they like the new quality of the videos and everything like that, and if they learned anything. So right now, the students that have enrolled are now starting to take their final examinations. Some of them are just now finishing up their videos, things like that. So once they're done, then I'm going to evaluate how did the course go, if I need to make it harder, if I need to make it easier, which I don't think I need to make it easier. I think I'm probably going to make it even harder, and more in depth. So once the entire program is fully ready for public, we're going to go ahead and roll that out, most likely after winter. So either very, very end of this year or very early next year. It's going to be an entire comprehensive course. So it's going to be a lot harder than what they went through. I already know this because I'm already getting feedback. And it seems a little easy, so time to toughen it up. Okay, I want you guys to see this. So I'm working on the very front, and I'm now taking sections like this, and I'm going to curl it that way, and I'm going to take these sections and also curl it that way, so you guys know what I'm doing. So we're going to take the first section here. We're going to pin this out of the way. And I'm going to curl them back the same way we've been doing it. I know this angle is horrible for you guys. I'm really sorry. I can't really move my whole stuff to the other side. But I'll move her right before I do all the spraying for the bang. We'll do it a different angle, but my stuff is plugged in on this side, so I can't move it. This going. So I'm just kind of doing the same way that I've been doing the rest of the hair. Over directing. I try to blow in case it's like too hot for my client. We're gonna do that. The only part that's hard about this is if they have bangs, like shorter bangs, you have to make sure that it is wrapping around this wand. So if it doesn't, then you could just use a straightener to curve it in the direction that you want it to go. instead of wrapping it around the wand if it doesn't wrap. Now we're going to do that very, very last section. And it's going to go this way. Try to do it the same way but opposite if I can. Hopefully you guys can see that a little better. Now we're going to pin that just at the base. And the last section. Well, I have to do it this way. I have to do it the same direction. Making sure all the hair is going in that curve. What I love about this wand too is that I can touch the tip of it and not be burned because it has a safety tip. Thank God for the safety tip. All right, guys. So here it is. All her hair up in curls. It's okay if little bits are coming out. It's not a big deal. As long as the body of it stays, you know, pretty intact. This thingy is like way out. Okay. Cool. So I'm going to let her go for 10 minutes and cool down. So I'm going to go ahead and take a seat here. You get a 10-minute break. Do you need your charger? I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
Okay. And now I'm going to answer some other questions. If you guys have makeup questions or any questions, honestly, like whatever. Whatever. I'm here. I'm yours. So let's talk. Latest post. Please ask your stuff. If you missed the first half of class, we've been answering questions like throughout the whole class. So definitely catch the rerun if you feel like you need to go over that. Okay, so a lot of questions here about baby hairs. So when it comes to baby hairs, like especially like I have baby hairs like right in the front. See this? So the best way to like really combat that is, I'll show you actually on myself. So hairspray. Let's say if you're doing an updo. I want to show you guys this like really cool trick here. Oh my God, I'm blurry. Okay. So see all this baby hair, right? I'm gonna move my hair this way so you can see all this. So I'm gonna bring it up into my pony, spray it, and then this wand, see how it still kind of comes down? Using the wand, you can actually press it right into your hair and it like fuses. So fresh hairspray, and then use that wand to just fuse it to the rest of your hair so that it just doesn't come up. And if it does pop up, that means you need a little bit more hairspray. So after that, we're just gonna seal it with a little bit more hairspray and no more baby hair. It's all done. So I do that a lot on like, let's say if you're doing like a really clean updo, like a big bun, and the bun itself has some flyaways, and like you have flyaways everywhere on the like top edge or whatever, just go ahead and do a good spray all over and then do that wand thing and it literally just sticks to your hair. It's so awesome. So let's say if all of this was going back or something, so you'd bring all this back, spray it, and then use your wand to really kind of get those baby hairs to stay away. Or worst case scenario, if nothing's really working, you could always try putting some hair like forward like I do, these little bangs, just to cover some of the baby hairs that are kind of going crazy. So yeah, that's how I do it. Okay. let's see what else. So I would say around 8:18, we're gonna go ahead and have Ruby come back so we can finish the rest of her look. Ooh, Farzana Farouk says, today's my first day, loving you. Yay! Welcome to DYFL, my new students. Let me see. Oh. Lots of questions all of a sudden. Okay. So, how do you do this style if your hair is very curly and frizzy? Do I need to straighten it first? Thank you. So, the cool thing about this set that I have, the Tamana hair set from BombayHair.com, is that it comes with a straightener. So, one thing that you could do is, one thing you could do is try to just straighten the very root. So let's say the root of your hair is like super, super curly. You could actually just straighten the very, very root of it, and then the rest of it do this wand thing that I'm doing on her. So have your straightener on and your wand on. Use the straightener just for the root, and then for the rest of it, do your wand thing and do that per section. And so it'll go faster, so you don't have to straighten all the hair, then go back and wand all the hair. Just do it at the same time. And that will make your hair a lot smoother, because the wand itself is meant to smooth frizzy hair as well, because it's tourmaline. So it will smooth frizzy hair, but because the wand cannot touch the very scalp, you may want to straighten it first if your hair is very curly at the roots. So try that. It'll save you a lot of time if you just do it at the same time rather than doing it separately. If any of you guys are having trouble with the online certification, if you guys are already in it, or any trouble for Dress Your Face Live at all, any questions, we do have customer service taking care of that. Unfortunately, I don't know the tech behind the site and all that stuff. So you'll have to contact them for customer service and for tech support. It is info@dressyourfacelive.com. Also, if you just go to the bottom, it's a contact me section, just press that, it'll take you to their email. So you can ask them. Someone's asking, why didn't you tease the hair before curling like you did in previous classes? Love you. I never tease the hair before curling. I always curl it and then tease. So I'm not sure if maybe you might have seen a different class and got a little confused, or maybe just confused the steps, but I always curl first and then tease. I don't tease first and then curl unless I'm re-curling a previous curl. So let's say something is curled and I tease it and then I have to re-curl it, then then the tease is like right before the re-curl, but I always curl first. But this is like, I don't always do this pinning thing. This is just another option. I want to, like, the whole point of me doing classes every week is so that I can show you different ways and different methods to get to the same end result, so you can find out what method works best for you, because there's like a million different ways to do something. There's no one right way. But the way that I do things, I usually don't curl it and pin it all. I usually do the other thing that I was showing you, which is curling it, cooling it in your hand, and then letting it down, and then working on the next section instead of going back and unpinning all of it. But I wanted to show you guys this method because this is proven to make your hair more bouncy and more voluminous and more longer lasting than other methods, because you're actually taking your time. So this is the longer way to do the same thing that I kind of always do, but the longer way of doing it, which is not a bad thing. If you have that kind of time, and if you're making sure that you're booking enough time for your clients to do it this way is a longer lasting method. So it doesn't hurt. Okay. Oh, also a very common question. If you guys, a lot of you guys are confused on how to book me. A lot of my brides and clients out there are on this too. A lot of my clients are actually Dress Your Face Live members. It's pretty cool. So if you guys are watching, the way to book me, if you need to book me for anything, is go to dressyourface.com. It's a different website. It's very basic. Nothing special about that website. It's just basic information about my services, my charges, where I'm based, and all that kind of stuff. My contact information is there. But for Dress Your Face Live things, you have to go through the Dress Your Face Live customer support because I can't really help there. But for my own personal bookings with you guys, go to dressyourface.com. I think, okay, probably like 2 more minutes of questions and then I'm going to bring Ruby back. So someone's asking, do you think someone with really fine thin hair should skip out on the conditioner on the day that they will have to style their hair? Yeah, I mean, if you have very, very fine thin hair that gets flat with conditioner, then don't condition it. Only condition the very tips of your hair if it's really dry, but if it's not even dry, then don't condition it at all. Just do the shampoo so that it can be as fluffy as possible. Conditioner can tend to coat the hair too heavy and weigh it down if your hair is really that thin. Any more questions for hair? Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start taking questions for makeup, just a couple questions, and then we're gonna have Ruby come back. I love that you guys are loving the classes, by the way. Like, I am so proud to be your guys' teacher. I'm always so excited to teach. I live to teach. So to know that you guys are learning and enjoying the material just makes me so happy. Oh, another hair question. Does the twist motion create this wave effect? Yes. So the twisting is going to create more of that really deep wave when you're twisting around the barrel. If you're just wrapping smoothly around the barrel, like the ribboning effect, it's not going to create a wave. It's going to create more of a spiral curl, which will unravel very quickly. So it's just going to be kind of like a dead curl by the end of the day. So I like the twisting method a lot more. So now I'm going to go and, oh, someone's asking about the warranty for the wand, the hairstyling set. If anything comes in and it gets messed up or whatever, if it stops working, we do have that warranty. It does cover it. So that has all of my collaborations, like whether it's the tattoo set, the henna tattoos, or whether it's the wand, or whether it's anything else like the lashes that I'm collaborating on. If you have any questions about the product, or if you need to exchange it or whatever it is, you need to contact their customer service. I'm the designer, they are the manufacturers. So you have to contact them if you have any questions about the actual product or pricing and things like that. That's all through the other company. So for Bombay Hair, you gotta contact Bombay Hair. Okay, so let's go ahead and answer a question for makeup, and then we're gonna get Ruby back here. Oh my gosh, so many questions. I don't even know which one to pick. Okay, so the LA Girl Concealer, when you apply it, when applied, gets spread on the face, spread sometime, which brush is good for beginners? Okay, so she's asking about the LA Girl Concealers. You know how I use the LA Girl Pro Conceal to highlight and contour my clients on my Snap videos, my Snapchat videos? And even in my online classes, that's what I love to use. So to spread it and to blend it out, I really love brush number 130 from MAC. It works really, really well to just push it in and blend it out, similar to a sponge. So like if you like the Beauty Blender, you'll like this brush because it works basically the same way. It's really, really awesome. You just push it, dab, 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 and it starts to spread it. If it spreads too much, just use your finger to wipe off the very edges. I'm actually going to be teaching a contour and highlight video for those of you who signed up for the 1-year upgrade for membership. A lot of you here are trial members for 7 days, or you're monthly members for 30 days at a time, which rolls into a monthly cycle every month. It's an automatic thing. If you sign up for a year, you get discounted class membership, plus we had a sale with the beauty box, and we're going to bring that back too. So if you guys want to sign up for the year, you can contact Dress Your Face Live so you can get your free box. So it's a goodie box of my favorite contour and highlight products. So I'm going to be teaching a class coming up this month on how to use those products correctly, how to highlight and contour. I'm going to use myself as my model. So it's going to be pretty fun. I'm going to have you guys come and learn, and you get to order your boxes. So hopefully, so we're going to have that whole box thing available for upgrade memberships. If you're already an annual member, you can pre-renew your yearly membership by prepaying for the following year. So once your real year expires, then your following year will kick in, but you can pre-order that basically so you can get your box too. So I'm not forgetting any of you, you're all included in that beauty box. But yeah, so you'll have time to order it, get it in time for that class to happen. Also for the next class, which is just in a few more days, it's the whole class that we're having with all of the live girls and boy. So we have all of us coming together on the panel. I put up a couple videos. It's all of us in a panel. We're going to be talking about our journeys and all that stuff. So I highly encourage you guys to stay on and watch all those upcoming episodes. It's going to be so much fun. So Ruby, come on up. We're going to finish your hairstyle, and then we will say bye to our lovely members. All right. So now I'm going to start removing each section. See how beautiful? It just bounces right back. Okay, so we're just opening up these curls here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the Layla comb here. And we're going to kind of tease very slightly. So what we'll do first is we'll tease the root a little bit because I love getting that root action going. So I'm just teasing the root. Okay, so now I have that bounce at the root. And now I'm going to take each piece and just tease so that it fluffs up. So you see the difference between here's the closed curl, and then here's the teased curl, which I barely teased. All I did was I picked up the end of the hair and I just went boom, boom. And it fluffs it up, and then you just use your fingers to spread it out, and it magnifies your hair 10 times, actually 100 times. So here's it again. I'm holding the end of the hair, and I'm just kind of giving it a little bit of that bounce and spreading it out, taking the next piece, holding it back, and giving it that bounce and spreading it out. If anything still looks stringy, the last thing you want is stringy hair, right? So if anything still looks stringy, take that piece and re-tease just the end of it. And now look at this. Look at all this. Just from that nape section, we got all this bounce from it. And now all you have to do is lightly spray with the Tresemme, accordion, bam, bam, squeeze it, and now you have this amazing fluffy hair. So we're going to do that with every section now. So the next section is coming down, opening it up, taking this down, opening it up, this one, all the way across. All right, so once all that hair is open, again, we're going to take piece by piece, tease the root, next piece, tease the root, tease the root, tease the root, and with every string, we're going to hold the end, and we're going to just fluff it and spread it open. And it's just going to it's going to add a lot of air in the hair, so it just kind of keeps bouncing right over. Next piece, I'm going to just spread it out. Look how beautiful and bouncy it is already. That was just the first 2 layers of hair. It's amazing how full and fun this technique can be. And if you don't want the Hollywood wave thing where it's all in one direction, then you don't have to curl all the hair in one direction. Oh, this is still too stringy. I'm going to curl more and spread. So you don't have to do, oh, sorry, honey. Oh my God. We don't have to curl it all in one direction if you don't want this Hollywood wave. But I love the Hollywood wave, so I always curl in one direction. Unless my client's like, no, I want a very messy wave, then I'll alternate. Some going down, some going up, some going to the side, some going this way so that it's like messy. But, you know, for a more classic look, do it this way. And then again, a light spray all over and smooth. If anything is looking too frizzy, spray a little bit extra and use the back of your hand to lay it in so that it doesn't look too frizzy at the end. Any areas that are just too all over the place, just give it a little bit of extra spray. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this throughout all her hair, and it, oh my God, it just looks so heavenly. Like, I love doing this hairstyle. It's so beautiful. And you'll notice, like, we could do the same thing even if we didn't clip all the hair up, if you just let the curls rest in your hand and then let it down. But this way, and leaving it for 10 minutes before opening it up, really does lock in the curl a lot better than, you know, speeding up that process. So if you do have time, and if you are booking your clients with enough time in between, then definitely do it this way if you can. You know, it is more time consuming, but the hair is going to look much more fabulous. If they want that big, big hair. Some of my clients, I mean, most of my clients don't want it this big. A lot of them are very conservative and they don't want to go too crazy, but my glam girls out there, they love this. So this is definitely a glam girl hairstyle. See that? How easy it is to spread it. Make it nice and fluffy. Oh, I'm in love already. Now, if you guys want to make the hair less fluffy and more like strong, then in that case, you would tease under each wave. So you would tease heavily under one wave and then go into the next wave and heavily tease under that one and then heavily tease under the next one so it doesn't move around too much. But I do like the light, airy teasing as well, just for that more of that movable bounce so it's not too structured. This is like having big hair, don't care, literally, because it doesn't look like you did so much prep work in it. It just looks like, oh, I just opened up my curls and it ended up like this. It's not as fussy as like a typical Hollywood wave. Opening all these bad boys. Alrighty, shake those down and tease. Nice and fluffed. This isn't. If your teasing does not last on the hair, then what you would want to do is when you're teasing, spray it immediately so it actually lasts on the root. So like, let's say if her hair doesn't hold tease, I would be teasing it really strong at the root, spraying the root, and then doing the rest of the tease everywhere else on the hair. Just so that the root can hold, but we don't have to do too much of that if we don't want it like literally standing up hair. Take that piece, give it that little fluff, spread it all out. Oh my God, look at that! Tease. Spread. tease and spread. Tease and spread. And then spray. I like to spray every section as I'm doing it, just so if you just spray at the very end of doing your hair, it's only going to penetrate the very, very top of the hair, the very surface, but I want to make sure that every section has enough hold so that if she's dancing the night away and shaking her head like crazy, it's still gonna keep its bounce. Once I'm done with the back, I'm gonna show you the front bang area, how to do that S-wave. Because I know a lot of you out there are struggling with that, so I wanna make sure that we do combat that right on this show. All right. Tease here. Take this, spread it all out. Next, it just like curls so nicely and it spreads so nicely when you do that whole teasing thing. It's so bouncy. And if you notice, I'm not teasing like crazy. I'm literally just teasing very little bits of the hair. I'm only teasing the root a little heavier, but everything else, like when I'm doing this part, I'm barely touching it. And then I just spread it. Spray that in place. And to the side. Make sure I'm spreading it out. I don't want any holes. I don't want any stringies. Looking good. And now I'm going to work on the back, and then we're going to start making sure that I'm facing you for the front. So we're going to work on a couple of these back sections first. Okay, right here, and right here, and a little bit of Bam Bam. Spread it out. See how I barely touched it and it just kind of opened up really nicely? Give that a little bit of a spray, calm it down a little bit. One more section that goes back and then the rest go to the side. So I'm not going to tease too much of the top because, my God, this has such amazing bounce already. I'm not going to tease the very root anymore on this top piece, but I am going to spread open the rest of these curls. And spray. And if anything is just too crazy for you guys, just use your nails to weigh it down and then spray it down. It's actually quite easy to do that. Weigh it down, spray it, and then lock into place wherever you're happy with the curl. Okay, so now we're ready for the side. So I will stand on this side so you guys can see a little better. And, well, maybe Let's go. So we're going to take out the bottoms. And here's how I get that crazy, crazy S-wave. Tease like nuts at the roots. Spray the roots. And then do the same thing that we've been doing this whole time, which is give that little bit of tease at the rest of the hair. Make sure none of it looks stringy. So any stringy areas, just kind of give it a little fluff. And spray. Okay? The next one. And it's only going to keep getting crazier. So the next piece. Bringing these down. We're going to tease the root insanely. Spray. And fluff. And then spread it out, just like the other pieces. Gotta spread it out. We don't want any stringy pieces going on. Okay. So far, so good. Now, the next piece. Take the roots up, tease it straight up, really hard. I'm teasing until my comb cannot go down more. Spray. And do the little spreading action here. If anything is just looking too stringy, like I said, just brush right through it or tease it, spread it across, and now the final section. Hair straight up, teasing the root like crazy, spraying the roots, taking these parts. I'm actually going to brush right through the ends because her hair is shorter here, so it's not going to mess up the curl or anything. But I am going to do that little poof, poof. So now this is all curls in place. Everything's nice and high over here. But the last piece, the last part that I'm going to do is I have this boar hair bristle teasing brush from Sally's Beauty Supply, and I'm just going to smooth over the very top and the very front. So I'm going to make sure that none of the teasing that I did is going to show. So the way to do that is to brush it straight up so that it stands up. Spray it so that the baby hairs can sit down, and then fold it over. And literally, with your hands and with this brush, you can sculpt where you want her hair to bend. So from here, if I want her hair to kind of go out into like a little curve like this, if you guys can see that clearly, there's like a little curve here. So what I did was I had sprayed all this, and now I'm just literally manipulating where I want her hair to go, and then I'm going to spray it. Make sure you're also spraying inside here. You don't want any baby hairs coming forward. Aww. So pretty. And we have this S-wave here that's so bouncy. And we have this sleekness right here. So if she wants to bring all of it forward, she can bring all of it forward. And it's so big and glamorous and amazing. You can spray the crap out of it, and it really just holds all day. Even if we didn't spray it like crazy, it would still hold for more than a day because we waited. That 10 minutes of cool time really does help, of course, and all the teasing and the spraying of every little section. I want you guys to see the back, how beautiful it looks. It's just so amazing. I'm going to turn you around all the way. Good. There we go. See that? See this? Oh my God. I just want to like dig in and go crazy, but oh my God. And you can, because it's not going to mess up. We have all this bounce. And the cool thing about this hairspray is we didn't use a whole lot, so it actually does go on like a layer of hairspray. But even if we do a lot of it, it doesn't get sticky. So that's why I like the Tresemme. Tresemme number 5. If only someone from Tresemme contacted me so I can get it for free. Because I go through a can a day on my clients, a can a day. Sometimes more if I have a lot of Indian brides. I use way more. So anyway, you guys can see how amazing and big this hair is. You don't need extensions. You do not need so much teasing. We only teased a little bit at the root and a little bit everywhere else, but not even that bad. It was really the technique. And the wand, of course, does a huge, huge difference. So, and then also, if you want to just bring all the hair to the front on one side, and you could actually clip, bobby pin the side, and it becomes this really, you know, nice kind of clean look. And oh my God, I love it. So why don't you lean forward so they can see that side of your hair a little bit?
Look at all that.
It's so beautiful. Like, there's so much hair now. And you guys saw that it's not like she had super thick hair or like a whole lot of number of hairs. She had a pretty average amount of hair, but it was pretty fine. So it was thinner than, you know, someone that wouldn't need extensions or anything. So you would think that, oh, maybe to get big hair you would need extensions, but she absolutely does not need extensions. You just need to know how to work her hair. So I want you guys to see this curve right here, that S wave. All we did was, you know, section the hair this way, we teased the inside, we sprayed it, and then with this smooth boar hair bristle brush, this is from Sally's Beauty Supply, you can find it in any beauty supply store, any color, doesn't matter. Smooth the front, the top, smooth the front, spray it, and then start sculpting as needed. If she wanted even bigger hair, then we could flip it to the other way, which is against the grain. Like I was saying, if you change the part, you can get an even higher hair and really just go nuts with it. But I think this looks amazing. So that's it for class today, folks. We already did the Q&A throughout the entire class. Actually, we did a lot more Q&A than I normally do. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I will catch you very soon for the All-Stars makeup panel team discussion, which is going to happen on the 10th. So stay tuned for that. So stay here. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys how to use the Beauty Box products, the contouring and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of really cool things, even acne, skin, makeup. Finally, you guys have been asking again to do another tutorial for acne skin, and I am. So we're going to do that in about another, few weeks. So every week we have something amazing going on. So stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, Ruby, for being my model. You were amazing.
Thanks for
and now we're going to take a bunch of selfies and pictures and call it a night. Bye, guys.